The desert world called Vornis was silent like a grave. No wind, no clouds, no life. Only endless red sand and old broken metal towers rising like bones from the ground. This forgotten planet was once a prison, a place where unwanted people were thrown to disappear forever. And in that lonely place walked a blind alien woman named Seris. Seris moved slowly across the sand, feeling the cold surface with her bare feet. Her hands stretched forward, touching the air, searching for danger. She had been blind for 10 long years. Her people had taken her sight as punishment for a crime she never did. After that, they left her here to die alone. Every day felt the same for her. Wake up. Drink the little water she stored. Search for food. Find shelter before the freezing night came. But even in this dead world, something always watched her. Every night she heard the same thing, footsteps. Soft, careful, stopping the moment she listened. Sometimes they sounded close, sometimes far, sometimes moving behind the old metal ruins. Seris always wondered if it was a creature, or a ghost from her memories, or maybe her mind breaking after so many years. She tried to ignore it, but fear lived inside her like a shadow. She remembered the moment they blinded her, the way her people held her down, the burning pain, the darkness that never left. She remembered screaming for help, but no one came. Her last memory before being left here was the sound of a ship door closing and her people's cold voices saying she deserved this. Now, after a decade, she only had 2 friends, silence and darkness. But something changed one evening. She felt the ground shake, lightly at first, then harder. She dropped to her knees and pressed her hand into the sand. The vibration continued. Steady and powerful. It was not footsteps. It was not a creature. It was something big, something mechanical. A ship was landing. Seris froze, her heart beating so fast she thought it might stop. No ship had landed on Vornis in 10 years. No one ever returned to this dead place. Why now? She wondered. Was it her people coming to finish what they started? Or was it something worse? The air filled with the sound of roaring engines. Heat washed over her skin. She covered her face as sand lifted around her like a storm. She heard metal legs unfold, landing gear touching the ground, hissing softly, then silence again for a long moment. Seris did not move. She waited, listening. Her sharp ears caught every small sound. A door opening. Boots stepping down a ramp. A soft beeping noise. Someone was walking toward her. Not a creature. Not a drone. A person. She stepped back, breathing hard, holding a sharp metal stick she used as a cane and as a weapon. Stay back, she warned, her voice shaking. I will fight. The unknown person stopped several meters away. There was a pause. Then a gentle voice said, Don't be afraid. It was a human voice. She had not heard a human voice in more than a decade. It sounded calm, warm, nothing like the cruel voices of her own people. My name is Rowan, the human said. I'm not here to hurt you. Seris could not believe it. Why would a human be here? How did he find her? Humans rarely came to this part of the galaxy, and they never visited abandoned prison worlds. She tightened her grip on the metal stick. How do I know you are real? She whispered. How do I know you are not another lie? Rowan took one slow step closer. The sand crunched under his boots. I found a distress signal, he said. It came from this planet. Seris felt her breath catch. She had tried to send a signal years ago by repairing an old transmitter she found. She never knew if it worked. She never expected anyone to hear it. Especially not a human, Rowan said softly. You have been alone for a long time, haven't you? Seris did not answer. She did not want pity. She only wanted truth. I can help you, Rowan continued. I have food, water, and medical tools. He stopped walking, giving her space. You don't need to trust me. Not yet, he added. Just let me help you. Seris felt something strange inside her. Hope, a feeling she had buried long ago. But hope was dangerous. Hope could break a person more than pain. She lifted her face toward the sky, letting the warm air touch her skin. What do you want from me? She asked quietly. Nothing, Rowan answered. I came because someone needed help. For a moment, Seris heard no lies in his voice. No fear, no greed, no anger, just honesty. It confused her. It scared her. Before she could speak again, she heard another sound. A loud mechanical click from somewhere in the ruins behind her. The same area where she had heard footsteps for years. Rowan also heard it. His voice changed, sharper. We need to leave, he said quickly. Right now. Seris felt her heart jump. What is it? She asked. Rowan did not answer immediately. But she heard him grab something from his belt. A weapon. Something dangerous, he said. Something that has been watching you. Seris trembled. So the footsteps were real. She was never alone. Something had been following her all these years, waiting in the dark. And now, it was moving toward them. Rowan stepped closer to her, for the first time sounding urgent. Come with me, he said. If you stay here, you will die. Seris hesitated. 10 years of loneliness weighed on her. 10 years of fear, betrayal, and silence. She did not know this human, but she knew the sound behind her. And it meant death. She reached out slowly. Her hand touched Rowan's glove. It felt real, warm, steady. I will go, she whispered. Rowan took her hand firmly. Good, he said. Stay close. Behind them, the metal ruins echoed with another heavy step. Something was coming, and for the first time in 10 years, Seris was not facing it alone. Rowan guided Seris across the sand as fast as he could. Her steps were unsure, but she trusted his hand more than the darkness behind her. The strange metal footsteps echoed again, louder this time. It sounded like a machine waking up after many years. Rowan looked over his shoulder. Even though Seris could not see it, he knew something dangerous was coming. Just a little more, he said quietly. My ship is close, Seris nodded, breathing hard, trying to match his pace. Her heart beat loudly in her ears, but she kept moving. She did not want to die here. Not now, not after someone finally came for her. Rowan's ship waited in a small canyon, half hidden by rocks and sand. It was a small human explorer craft with silver armor that reflected the faint light of the planet's dying sun. The ship hummed softly, like a living creature ready to run. Seris felt the warm air coming from beneath its engines, and she knew they were close to safety, but the sound behind them grew sharper. A heavy metallic thud, followed by another. The thing was following them. Rowan tightened his grip on Ceris's hand, pulling her forward with urgency. We don't have time, he said. Get inside. Now, Seris heard the ship's ramp slide open with a smooth hiss. Rowan helped her climb the metal steps, guiding her feet inside. She felt cool air and smelled the clean scent of a human-built interior. It was strange and unfamiliar, but comforting at the same time. Sit here, Rowan said, placing her in a seat. Keep your head down, Seris obeyed, gripping the armrests tightly. She listened as Rowan rushed to the cockpit, pressing switches and powering the engines. The ship vibrated under her feet, preparing to launch. Then she heard it. A loud mechanical roar from outside. The creature had reached the canyon. It stomped toward the ship, shaking the ground. Seris felt it in her bones. What is that thing? She whispered. Rowan did not answer immediately. She heard him pulling out his weapon and rushing back down the ramp. Stay inside, he ordered firmly. Do not move. Seris wanted to scream at him to come back, but the fear in his voice told her this was serious. She grabbed the seat tightly as the ship shook again. Another roar, deeper this time, made her chest vibrate. Outside, Rowan stood at the base of the ramp, aiming his rifle. A tall metal creature stepped from the shadows of the canyon, almost 2 meters high. Made of dark rusted steel and powered by an old energy core that glowed faintly. It had no eyes, only a single sensor in the middle of its head. Flickering like a weak red flame, its legs were heavy and jointed. Built for tracking prisoners who tried to escape long ago, a prison sentinel. A machine that never stopped hunting until its target was dead, Rowan fired first. The bright shot lit up the canyon and hit the sentinel's armor with a loud clang. The blast did little damage. The machine turned toward him. Its sensor glowing brighter, it lifted its arm, revealing an old but deadly energy blade. Seris heard all in it, the energy blast. The metal strike, Rowan's footsteps as he dodged. She wanted to move, wanted to help. But without sight, she could only listen. "Rowan," she whispered. "Please come back." Rowan fired again, aiming for the weak joints in the sentinel's legs. This time sparks flew. The machine staggered. Letting out a harsh metallic screech, Rowan took his chance. Running up the ramp and slamming the hatch shut behind him, he rushed to the cockpit and shouted, "Hold on." Seris barely had time to prepare before the engines roared. The ship lifted from the ground. Shaking the entire canyon, the sentinel jumped, slamming its blade against the ship's underside. The impact rattled the cabin, making Seris gasp. "Is it inside?" she asked fearfully. "No," Rowan said, forcing the ship higher. But it almost was. The ship blasted upward, leaving the sentinels shrinking below them. It continued to roar, its red sensor staring up as they escaped into the sky. Finally, the planet's atmosphere faded, and the darkness of space wrapped around them like a blanket. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Seris sat quietly, breathing slowly, trying to calm her racing heart. Rowan finally turned to her and said softly, "You're safe now." She swallowed hard. "What was that thing?" she asked. "A prison sentinel," Rowan replied. "It was programmed to hunt prisoners who tried to escape." "It must have been tracking you for years," Seris shivered. "So she was never alone on that world. She had always been hunted, watched, followed." She felt sick just thinking about it. Rowan sat across from her, his voice gentle again. "Seris, I scanned the area when I landed. I found signs that the sentinel had been active for a long time." He paused before saying the next part. "It was waiting for you to die." Seris felt something break inside her. She lowered her head, holding her hands together. "Why did you come?" she whispered. "Why help someone like me?" Rowan spoke with quiet honesty. "Because you were hurt unfairly. Because no one deserves to be abandoned." He leaned back in his seat. "And because humans don't turn away when someone needs help." Seris listened to his words. There was no sharpness, no coldness, no lies. Only truth, only kindness, for the first time in 10 years. She felt something warm inside her chest, something she had forgotten long ago. Hope. "Where are we going now?" she asked softly. Rowan replied, "To a human medical station. If we can get there safely, we may be able to fix your eyes." Seris held her breath. She could not believe what she heard. Could she really see again? And before she could ask another question, Rowan added, "But we are not safe yet, Seris. Your people will come after you, and we must be ready." The human ship drifted through the silent darkness of space. Stars passed like cold white sparks outside the small windows. Seris sat quietly in her seat, listening to the soft hum of the engines. Her hands rested on her lap, trembling slightly. She had escaped the prison world, but her fear had not left her yet. Rowan sat in the pilot's chair, checking the screens and scanning for danger. His face was calm, but inside he remained alert. He knew they were not safe, Not yet. Her people, the Alari Council, would never allow a prisoner like Seris to return. Not when she carried the truth they tried so hard to hide. Rowan, Seris said softly. Are we far from Vornis now? Far enough, he answered. But we cannot relax. Seris turned her head slightly. Listening to the ship's quiet beeps, she wished she could see what Rowan saw. She wished she could understand the danger ahead. But all she had was trust. Trust in a human she barely knew. What happens now? She asked. Rowan took a breath before answering. We go to a safe zone. Then we talk about what happened to you. Seris felt her heart tighten. She did not want to remember, but she knew the truth was important. She could not run from her past forever. Rowan turned the ship to autopilot and came to sit across from her. Seris, he said gently, your punishment was not normal. She frowned. Of course, it was not normal, she whispered. They blinded me and abandoned me. That is not what I mean, Rowan replied, his voice serious. Your people are strict, but they are not cruel like this. Seris froze. What are you saying? I have studied the Alari for years, Rowan explained. In their history, no one has ever been blinded and thrown away without a trial. Seris felt a cold wave move through her chest. So why did they do it to me? She asked. Her voice shaking, Rowan hesitated. Then he asked, Seris, what did you find 10 years ago? Ceris's breath caught in her throat. She had avoided this question for years. She had buried those memories deep. But Rowan's voice pulled the truth to the surface. I was a researcher, she began slowly. I worked in the energy sector, studying power cores. Rowan nodded, listening closely. Her fingers curled tightly around her knees. One day, I discovered something, she continued. A secret project, hidden by the council. Rowan leaned forward. What kind of project? Seris lowered her head. A weapon, she whispered. A powerful one. A weapon made from the stolen energy of other species. Rowan's eyes widened. That is Forbidden's technology. Yes, Seris said quietly. It is illegal in every part of the galaxy. She remembered the day she found the files. The panic in her chest, the shock at seeing her leaders' names on the documents. She had reported the truth to her supervisor. 1 hour later, soldiers broke into her lab. They dragged her away, calling her a traitor. I thought the council wanted to silence the weapon, she said. But they wanted to silence me. Rowan listened carefully. You were punished so no one would believe you. Seris nodded weakly. They blinded me because they feared I had seen too much. They abandoned me because they feared I would speak. And they left that sentinel to watch me die. Rowan exhaled slowly. It all makes sense now, he said. The distress signal I found was blocked by several layers of encryption. Someone tried to hide it. Seris felt her throat tighten. So they knew I could be found. And they tried to stop it. Rowan placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. But they failed, he said, because humans never ignore a call for help. Seris felt warmth spread through her chest again. Every word Rowan spoke felt like a promise she had wished for during all the silent years on Vornis. But the moment did not last long. A loud alarm suddenly echoed through the ship. Seris flinched. What is that? She asked quickly. Rowan rushed to the cockpit. His fingers flew across the controls. His face grew serious. We have a problem, he said. A very big problem. Seris stood slowly, gripping the wall for balance. What do you see? Rowan's voice tightened. A warship, he said. Your people found us. Seris felt fear stab through her chest. She moved closer, even though she could not see the threat. How did they find us so fast? Rowan swallowed hard. There is only one way, he said. They put a tracker inside the Sentinel. Seris froze. And the Sentinel was watching me for years, she whispered. Rowan nodded grimly. They knew someone would come someday. They were waiting. Seris felt sick. Her knees trembled. She had escaped one prison only to fall into another. Rowan grabbed her hands firmly. "Listen to me," he said. "We are not giving up. You will not go back to them. Not while I am alive." Seris felt her breath shake. "Rowan, what will we do?" He tightened his jaw, determination burning in his eyes. "We fight," he said. "We run. We survive. And we expose your truth to the galaxy." At that moment, the ship shook violently as the warship fired a warning blast. Seris stumbled, but Rowan caught her. Lights flashed red across the cockpit. The battle had begun, and for the first time in 10 years, Seris was not facing her enemies alone. The ship shook again as another blast hit the shields. Seris held onto the wall, her heart pounding fast. Rowan pushed the controls forward, guiding the small human craft through a narrow asteroid field. Rocks spun past them like giant shadows, scraping close to the hull. Seris could feel the motion, feel the danger, feel the fear in Rowan's breath, even if he tried to hide it. "Are we safe?" she whispered. "Not yet," Rowan said, focusing hard. "But we will be." Behind them, the Alari warship fired again. A bright beam tore through the asteroids, breaking them apart with loud cracks, but Rowan's ship moved quickly, slipping between the falling rocks like a silver fish escaping a net. Seris tightened her grip on the armrest. She could not see the danger, but she could feel every moment, every sound, every vibration, every change in Rowan's breath. Her world was made of sound and touch. But today, those senses were filled with fear. Rowan took a sharp turn, sending the ship diving behind a massive asteroid. For a moment, the scanners went quiet. Rowan breathed out slowly. "We lost them for now," he said. "But they will be back." Seris sat down, her legs weak. "Why do they chase me so hard?" she whispered. "Because you know the truth," Rowan said. "And the truth can destroy them." Seris lowered her head. "I never wanted this," she said. "I only wanted to help my people, not fight them." Rowan looked at her with gentle eyes. "You did nothing wrong," he said. "They are afraid of what you know." The ship finally left the asteroid field and entered a quiet region of space. A soft chime echoed inside the cockpit. Rowan checked the screen and nodded. "We're close to the human medical station," he said. "You will be safe there." Seris felt something warm inside her chest. Hope, but hope was dangerous. Hope could break a person if things went wrong. Still, she could not help whispering, "Will they really fix my eyes?" Rowan glanced at her. His voice was calm and confident. "We will try everything we can." Seris touched her face gently. She had forgotten what light looked like. She had forgotten what colors felt like. She wondered if the world would feel too bright, too loud, too painful. But she also wondered how Rowan looked, the human who risked everything to save her. After some time, the ship slowed down. A soft voice from the computer announced, "Approaching Human Medical Station 7. Seris felt the ship dock with a quiet metallic click. Rowan stood and helped her to her feet. "Stay close to me," he said. "The station is safe, but busy." Seris held his arm as they stepped out into a long, clean hallway. She smelled fresh air, something she hadn't smelled in years. She heard distant voices, human voices full of warmth and curiosity. Footsteps echoed gently on the floor. Machines hummed around her, but none of them sounded threatening like the sentinel. Rowan guided her to a medical room. Inside, she heard the soft voice of a human doctor. "Welcome, Seris," the doctor said kindly. "We have been expecting you." Seris felt nervous and hugged herself tightly. "What will you do?" she asked. The doctor spoke gently. "We will repair your eyes with human nanotech. It is slow, but safe." Rowan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "I will stay with you the whole time," he promised. Seris took a deep breath and nodded. She lay down on the soft medical bed, A warm light passed over her face. She heard soft beeps as tiny machines began working inside her eyes. Repairing damaged tissue, the doctor spoke calmly through each step. You might feel warmth, pressure, or tingling. Seris felt all of it. But she did not feel fear, not this time. Because Rowan was beside her, holding her hand. Because she finally felt safe, hours passed slowly. Seris drifted in and out of sleep. She dreamed of colors she could not remember. Lights she had forgotten. Worlds she hoped to see again. Finally, the doctor said softly, "It is done, Seris." Her heart jumped. Rowan squeezed her hand gently. "Are you ready?" he asked. Seris took a long breath. I think so," she whispered. The doctor adjusted a small control device. "You may open your eyes now," she said. Ceris's heart thundered in her chest. Her hands trembled as she slowly lifted her eyelids. At first she saw only blurry light, then shapes, then slowly. Slowly. The world came into focus. Colors, shadows, light, space. Everything flooded into her vision. Tears filled her eyes instantly. For the first time in 10 years. She was seeing again. She blinked several times. Letting the world clear, her gaze moved toward the first thing her heart wanted to see. Rowan, he stood beside her, smiling gently, relief in his eyes. "Welcome back to the light." "Seris," he said. Seris covered her mouth, tears falling down her cheeks. "You? You are real," she whispered. Rowan laughed softly. "Yes. I'm very real." She looked around, amazed by the clean white walls, the soft lights, the kindness in the doctor's face. Everything was beautiful. Everything felt alive. She felt alive, but her joy slowly mixed with fear. Her enemies were still out there, and they would come. They would not stop now that she could see again. Seris wiped her tears and looked at Rowan with new determination. "What happens next?" she asked. Rowan's smile faded into seriousness. "Now," he said, "we fight for your freedom." And Seris, with new eyes and a new fire inside her heart, nodded. "I'm ready," she said. Seris stepped out of the medical room with new eyes and a new heart. The world looked bright, sharp, and full of life. For 10 long years she had lived in darkness. Now every light felt like a gift. Every shadow felt like a promise of freedom. Rowan walked beside her, his steps steady and confident. She watched him closely, memorizing his face. His eyes held kindness. His expression held strength. He was the first person to save her, the first to believe her. She followed him through the station halls, feeling safe for the first time in years. But that safety would not last. The Ilari Council had already tracked their escape. They would come, and they would come fast. They needed to silence Seris before she could speak her truth to the galaxy. In the command room of the human station, screens glowed with red alerts. Rowan studied the data, his jaw tense. Seris stood beside him, ready to face whatever waited ahead. "They are moving their warship closer," Rowan said. "Your people are serious." Seris looked at the screen. Seeing the large dark ship approaching, a cold fear touched her heart. "They will destroy this station if they must," she whispered. Rowan nodded. "I know, but we won't let it happen." Commander Hall, a tall human with silver hair, stepped forward. "We read Rowan's report," he said. "We know the truth you carry." Seris straightened her back. "I am ready to speak," she said. The humans placed her story through the station's main recording system. They prepared a broadcast that would be sent across multiple sectors. Once the signal went out, the Ilari Council would not be able to hide the truth anymore. But they had to survive long enough to send it. Rowan turned to Seris, his eyes serious. "When we broadcast your message, they will attack with full force," he said. Seris nodded. "I understand. Are you afraid?" Rowan asked gently. "Yes," she whispered. But I will not run again. The station shook slightly. The enemy warship had arrived. Red lights flashed across the command room. An alarm spoke in a calm but urgent voice. Warning. Enemy vessel approaching. Seris stepped forward to the recording device. Her hands trembled for a moment. Rowan placed his hand gently over hers. You can do this, he said. She took a deep breath. Then she began to speak. Her voice filled the station, steady and clear. I am Seris of the Alari, she said. 10 years ago, I discovered a secret weapon project created by the Alari Council. They used stolen energy from many species. They punished me for knowing the truth. They blinded me, abandoned me, and left a sentinel to hunt me until I died. But I survived. With the help of a human. As she spoke, the humans prepared the broadcast. Rowan watched the door. Ready for danger, Seris continued. I send this message to all allied worlds. My people are ruled by corruption, lies, and fear. I speak now so no one else suffers as I did. The station shook violently as the warship fired its first blast. Alarms roared through the halls. Commander Hale shouted orders. Shields up. All hands to defense positions. Seris finished her message. Her voice strong. This is the truth, she said. And now the galaxy will know. Rowan hit the broadcast button. The message flew across space like a spark in the dark. It reached nearby systems, then farther ones. It spread quickly, unstoppable now. The Ilari warship fired again, harder this time. Metal groaned as the station trembled. Rowan rushed to Seris, pulling her close for safety. We did it, he said. Your voice is out there now. Seris looked up at him. For the first time, she felt truly free, but the battle was not over. The enemy warship launched boarding pods toward the station, sharp metal capsules that drilled into the outer walls. Alari soldiers stormed out. Armored and armed, they came to capture Seris and kill anyone protecting her. Rowan lifted his rifle. Stay behind me, he said. Seris shook her head. No, Rowan, she said. I will not hide anymore. Together. They moved through the hallway. Human soldiers met the attackers. Lasers flashed, metal clashed. The air shook with explosions. Seris stayed close to Rowan. Her eyes sharp and alert now. Every step forward felt like reclaiming a piece of her life. At last, they reached the central hall. A group of Ilari soldiers surrounded them. Their captain stepped forward. Seris, he said coldly. You should have stayed dead. Seris stood tall. I lived, she said. And now the galaxy knows what you've done. The captain raised his weapon. But before he could fire, Rowan stepped in front of her, aiming his rifle. Commander Hale and human soldiers flanked them from behind. The captain hesitated, realizing he was outnumbered, realizing the truth was already spreading through the stars. He lowered his weapon slowly. The fight was over. The council's lies were broken. Seris felt tears fill her eyes again. She turned to Rowan and whispered, Thank you for giving me back my life. Rowan smiled softly. You saved yourself, he said. Humans just helped you stand again. Seris looked out the window at the stars. Bright, clear, beautiful. She could see everything now. Her past, her present, and her future. She had been betrayed, blinded, forgotten. But she survived. And with the help of a human, she found her voice again. Her story would change the galaxy, and it had only just begun.